What's going on YouTube? Mick here with iHeart Knives, and in this video we're going to be doing a cleaning and disassembly of the Grimsmo Norseman. And this knife comes from KME user. Make sure you guys go follow him. First things first, we're going to take the pivot screw out. It's a fixed pivot screw, so there's just one screw in a fixed position. It has a male and female. The female locks in, and there's just a simple male screw. It's all the same size. They give you a Torx bit in the carry case, and they also give you nano oil to lube it. There's just two body screws. There's two standoffs, and the pivot, very, very simple. The pocket clip attaches inside on the underside, so once you take one of the scales off, where the pocket clip is, there's screws that attach it from, on the inside. So there's no need to take that off. And you can see that this one is numbered, and it says Grimsmo Norseman on the inside. They machine it right on the inside. So I'm using 70% isopropyl alcohol. I find that 70% works well. You can use, whatever you have. I also have 95 or 99, I think, one of the two. And I decided to use KPL for the pivot instead of the nano oil. I wasn't sure if John had opened the nano oil. I didn't want to be the one to open it and use it. I like KPL, and I happen to have it on hand. This knife was pretty clean. There's a little bit of buildup in the pivot, very, very minor. It's an open, an open back there, or a through construction, so dirt isn't really gonna pile up in there. You could even take like a computer compressed air can and spray the thing out if you wanted to, but it doesn't collect much debris. I carried it for about 2 weeks. I'd say probably like 9 out of the 14 days I carried it, and very minimal. It still flipped like the day that he sent it. Action is fantastic. It does ride on bearings, and the bearings rode incredibly smooth. Obviously, a knife like this at this cost, it's important to take care of, but at the same time, when you spend that kind of money, it's gonna operate like how you got it from the factory. And if it doesn't, you should probably send it back for just a simple cleaning and disassembly. It's no problem. But if there was like a major issue or something, obviously I would, if it were my own knife, I'd send it back. But just cleaning off the bearings. These are caged bearings, so they're fitted into like a plastic washer basically, and they're just like press fitted in. So once I cleaned them with alcohol, I just dried them off on the paper towel, and I cleaned the pivot area a few times because I noticed that there's like pretty deep crevices inside. The machining is done incredibly well, but there are, inside the pivot area, there was a couple indentations that didn't clean out as well as I had thought, so I just wiped them down a third time. But overall, it's a very easy knife to clean. Apply some KPL to the first scale, and then pop the pivot in. Go ahead and pop the washer on. Then go ahead and put the stop pins in, and this has 2 of them, and they only fit in one way, so they are tapered. So like one end is a little bit bigger than the other, so they can only go in one way and fit tight. And they're 2 different sizes, so that one is for one side, one is for the other. And then go ahead and pop the blade on, throw the other washer on, and go ahead and put the final scale on, but add a little bit of KPL and then pop that on. So the first scale was the show scale. Since the pivot has like a face to it, you can see like the Grimsmo logo. That's the one that I started with, and then the the other side is where the pivot screw goes into. So obviously that's the order that you want to go with. I mean, there's only one way to do it, so you can't really mess it up. And then go ahead and throw the body screws in. Now the standoffs are already attached. You don't have to take them off. I didn't take them off. I just cleaned around them. It was very, very simple. I didn't throw any Loctite in here because I was talking to John probably about 4 days before this, and we were talking about Loctite, and he mentioned that he doesn't really use Loctite, so I didn't apply any to it. I didn't find it necessary to. The action on the first try was pretty good, but it was a little bit tighter than I wanted. You could see there's a little bit of a hang up, so I wanted it to drop shut again, so I backed it off a little bit, and I retightened the body screws first, because sometimes if the body screws aren't if I didn't tighten them all the way on the first try, sometimes when you get everything back together, things need to be readjusted. So and then I'll go ahead and back the screw off on the pivot just a little bit, and you can see it drop shuts again, and that's how the action was on the first try. And just go ahead and check for any blade play, and there was a little bit of side to side, no front to back or up and down play, I guess you could call it. There was a little bit side to side play, and there shouldn't be, so I took that out and then checked the centering. The centering was perfect. Go ahead and set it back in, and this knife's going to be back on its way to John. And that's it. That's the cleaning and disassembly of the Norseman. Very straightforward. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Please remember to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We're getting near the 500 mark, so look out for the giveaway coming up soon. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Later.